can't hear from that side.
I'll sit by.
Homes from those fires. So to help ecologists find and signal to those researchers where those koalas were. So very obviously Elvis was not a koala dog because he shakes. The koala is very professional. They will just lay down or sit right where the koala is. And as you see, Elvis gets very easily distracted by possible snacks. So that is actually the reason why we have Elvis. He came to us from Guide Dogs for America, where we don't like to say he failed the program, but he didn't pass. Because he is a little too food motivated. If you were walking Elvis and there was a busy street and there was one wildlife such as, and many more. Now this here is Ilunga, our 8-year-old South African cheetah. Now that means sunshine in Swahili. Now these two have been paired together since they were just a reason is that Elvis here plays the role as a surrogate mom for about 2 years along with their siblings. Unfortunately, Ilunga was the only surviving member of her litter, and her mom decided she wanted nothing to do with her. So it was very obvious that care specialists needed to step in and help take care of her. There is not another cheetah cub available. We might turn to a dog, and that is where Elvis comes in. So they are surrogate brother and sister, and they have a wonderful relationship. They are together nearly 24/7, except for feeding time because of Elvis. He would eat all of Ilunga's food if he could. So everyone knows what they're known for, which is speed. Exactly. Do we know how fast a cheetah can run? 65, 75 miles per hour. Now they can hit that 60-mile-an-hour mark in just 3.4 seconds. Now that is the same get up and go in mind. Now they are sprinters, they are not marathon runners, so they can only hold this top speed for about 30 seconds or a quarter of a mile, so one lap around the track. Now they have a few adaptations to help with this amazing superpower, their speed. The first one is angle, but take a look at its shape. It's a little bit more flat than you would think of most cattails, right? Now this is to help, believe it or not, steer her body. So when a cheetah is at full sprint, at 2 points in their stride, all 4 feet are off the ground, and they are literally flying through the air. Now their prey items are trying desperately to get away from them, so they will zigzag, U-turn, do anything that they can to shake them off their trail. Now the cheetah, mid-air, will flick that tail just like the rudder of a boat and turn their entire body in the opposite direction of their tail while they are mid-air. So it's a pretty amazing adaptation that they have. The other one, you're getting a great view. It doesn't necessarily help with speed, but they are daytime hunters, so they have that teardrop that goes from the corners of their eyes to the corners of their mouth called malar stripes. Now those are used just like athletes will use eye black to reflect the sunlight out of paws. They look very similar to Elvis's, and that is because cheetahs have what we call semi-non-retractable claws, which is just a long fancy phrase meaning that they do not have the ability to push them out or pull them back in like all other cats. They have some B-roll up here. She's gonna come nice and close to you so you can see, so someone's know with you guys. First thing we might notice are those interesting ear tufts that she has on the top of her head where her ears are located. They're actually asymmetrically placed on either side of her head. Those two little tufts on top of her head are actually for camouflage when she is hiding in those trees. But believe it or not, that's actually the smallest part of Einstein's eye. Owl eyes are kind of shaped like an old school light bulb, so the part that we are looking at right now is the screwy part of me. And Ellie is really strong. She goes to the gym all the time. But believe it or not, Einstein is a whopping 5 pounds. Together, nice and glued, those little filaments are all nice and tight together so they can fly and be super, super aerodynamic. Owls have what we call split ends at the end of their feathers, and that allows the air to pass straight through. So you can't hear an owl when they're flying at all, and that allows them to sneak upon their prey items, which, like I said, are rodents. So things like mice and rats. We realized she was a little lady, but she is super wise, so her name kind of stuck. And she's pretty special here. She likes to talk. But let's give it up one more time for Einstein, our amazing giant owl friend. If you guys didn't know, he is stunning. And like I said, he's an older pups that we have here at Weggeforth Bowl as well. You got some B-roll of them up here, Shasta and Beckworth. So they live here together at Weggeforth Bowl. They're really good at sharing, and they do a great job of coming on out here. They're all from an amazing facility over in Reno, Nevada, where they are very focused on graced with their presence. So this is Beckworth also, and a great example of how North American gray wolves can actually have a lot of different color variations. They can get pretty large, up to about 150, 160 pounds. And we might see a really interesting behavior from Beckworth here, which is called scent rolling. Does anyone have dogs at home? Yeah, quite a few of us. So our dogs at home, believe it or not, are ancestors of these amazing canine species. What's different about the dogs that we have in our homes are domesticated canine food, and they look to us for a lot of those cues that wolves look to each other for. Wolves are extremely social animals, and they do live in Arctic territory. You can also see Becks rolling in scents, and that is actually because they want to tell people where their territory is, and then also when they are hunting like a wolf. Because if you do have a pack of 3 to 5 to even 8 wolves, depending on how large of a population of wolves you have in an area, you don't want to smell like a wolf if you're trying to sneak up on a deer, right? So they might roll in things like a dead animal, carry-on, some stood. Believe it or not, these guys are way more scared of us than we are of them. So we want to make sure that we are doing as much conservation work